So is AI really coming for all of our jobs? I mean, that seems to be the headline everywhere you look. Today, we are diving deep into this massive wave of tech layoffs, all being blamed on artificial intelligence. And we're going to ask, what is really going on here?
Okay, just picture this for a second. You work at Google, right? One of the biggest, most influential companies in the world. And you get an internal memo that says pretty much this. This isn't some made-up scenario, folks. This is a real ultimatum being handed to employees as we speak.
That's right. Right now, Google is offering what they're calling voluntary exit packages. It's coming from their chief business officer, and the message is crystal clear. AI is our everything now, and if you can't keep up with the absolutely blistering pace we're setting, well, here's a severance check. You can see yourself out. Now, what's really telling is who they're targeting, and maybe more importantly, who they're not targeting. The buyout is aimed at folks in the solutions team, some sales roles, and corporate development. But notice that big exception. Customer-facing sales teams. Why? Well, Google flat out says it doesn't want to mess with its core revenue engine. They're not touching the people who bring in the money. So you might be asking, why do a buyout instead of just a straight-up layoff? It's a classic corporate strategy. Buyouts are just cleaner. You have fewer legal headaches, and you get to avoid those really ugly headlines that mass firings always create. It's a quieter way to trim the fat. But there's usually a catch with these so-called voluntary offers. And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures the feeling behind these offers. Because often, a buyout is just the first step. It's the polite knock. If not enough people take the offer and walk away willingly, well, that's when the bolder, the harsher, mandatory cuts might be coming next. And look, this isn't just a Google story. The scale here is wow. In the last year, a staggering 54,000 layoffs in the US were blamed on AI. Just let that number sink in. 54,000 jobs. It's so big, you have to step back and look at the entire industry. And the trend is absolutely everywhere. Amazon has cut tens of thousands of jobs, HP is signaling that more cuts are on the way, you've got Duolingo openly saying, yep, we're replacing contractors with AI, and the CEO of Salesforce coming right out and saying AI agents mean he just doesn't need as many people. So the story we're being told by the giants of tech seems incredibly direct, right? The message is unambiguous, AI is here. It's taking jobs. The narrative is basically set. Human workers are on their way to becoming obsolete. But is it really that simple? Is AI truly the one and only reason for this massive shakeup in the workforce? Or could there be something else going on behind all these headlines? Let's, actually look at the data. Because here it is. Here's the number that kind of blows up the whole narrative. Economists are projecting that by the year 2030, only 6% of American jobs will actually be fully automated. Not 60%, not 30%, just 6%. This changes the whole conversation. So let's just put this side by side. On one hand, we have this huge, scary number of layoffs being publicly blamed on AI. But on the other hand, the actual economic forecasts for automation are tiny in comparison. So what in the world explains this massive gap? Well, welcome to the age of AI washing. It's a new term, but it describes a pretty old game. Companies blaming layoffs on the newest, shiniest technology, in this case, AI, even when the real reasons might be a lot more, boring. I mean, just look at the spin versus the possible reality. The public message is, AI innovation is making us leaner. The real motive might be, whoops, we overhired like crazy during the pandemic, and now we got to protect our profit margins. See, admitting you have to cut costs sounds kind of bad, but blaming AI, that sounds futuristic, innovative, and it sounds a whole lot better to Wall Street. And this all brings us right back to that email from Google. For years, the dream of working in big tech was all about free food, flexible hours, and just building cool stuff. That dream, it's over. The new reality, the new motto is move fast, think AI, or move on. So what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, this whole moment represents a huge shift. The era of comfort in big tech is officially over. We're now in the era of big tech survival. And what we're seeing could be straight up AI washing, or it could be a real, painful, structural reset for the entire industry. Honestly, the truth is probably a messy mix of both. So the next time you see that headline about thousands of jobs being replaced by AI, this is the question I want you to ask yourself. Are you really looking at innovation in action, Or are you just looking at a very convenient, very futuristic sounding excuse?